At last section, I will talk about water flood surveillance or water flood diagnostics or water flood performance analysis. It is really important and interesting topic. So as a student, you can also do research about the usage or the application of each surveillance tools. You can do water flood surveillance at field scale, sector scale, pattern scale, and well scale. And you actually need to do surveillance at all of these scales. There are a lot of surveillance tools: production plot, bubble map, and decline curve analysis, hull plot, churn plot, voidage replacement ratio, tracer, streamline, ABC plot, interference test, saturation log, production log, and so on and so forth. And we will discuss only a few tools in this presentation. The first one is, of course, production plot, vintage plot. And of course, it is the simplest tool that we can do, but it is really actually very, very important. So we create a plot. Okay, it's a composite plot. Within this plot, we create a production plot, oil production plot, liquid production plot, reservoir pressure, injection rate, water cut, and many parameters we can plot actually within one plot. And it will give us, it will tells us a story regarding our field performance, also our water flood performance. So like this one, at number 1, it means production started. Okay, very easy first. And then at number 2, we can see, okay, at number 2, production wrap up and peak. Okay, as a new engineer, you need to construct this kind of plot. And at number 3, reservoir pressure rapidly decline. Okay, actually, it is plotted at logarithmic scale. In linear scale, you will see the reservoir pressure decline. It's very, very rapid. Okay, and that's bad. We need to actually implement water flood or water injection as soon as possible. Okay, and that's why at number 4, at around July or May 2009, we implement water injection or water flood. Actually, we are quite late. Okay, because the reservoir pressure has actually rapidly declined. Okay, but so we are quite late, but it's okay because finally we implement the water flood. And then at number 5, we increase the injection rate. Okay, which will result in number 6, increase in liquid and oil production following the injection ramp up. Okay, so it means that our reservoir respond positively with our injection, and that's a good thing. All right, so there is a really strong correlation between production and injection, and that's a good news for engineers. Okay, and but now at number 7, we see at the history, water injection rate decrease. Okay, at number 7, water injection rate decrease, which was followed by liquid and oil production decrease as well. The black line is the liquid production. The green line is the oil production. Okay, so again, it is a positive response. If you increase your injection, production will increase. If you decrease your injection, production also will decrease. Okay, and at number 8, fast water cut increase following water injection rate ramp up. At this one, at number 8, the water cut increased rapidly. So actually, what we did in number 5, maybe it will give us higher production for a while, but at the same time, unfortunately, the water cut increased rapidly as well due to the ramp up in the injection rate. So we need to be careful there. Of course, if you increase your injection, it will give you higher production. But what about the water cut? Water cut is our enemy actually. We don't want it to increase rapidly. Okay, so this is the problem here. So water cut increased rapidly at number 8. And at number 9, we can see reservoir pressure steadily increase. Okay, so it is a steady increase of our reservoir pressure. So after it declines, it depletes rapidly, we can slowly but at stable rate, we can increase our reservoir pressure. Right, so this kind of analysis, this kind of surveillance analysis you actually need to do as a reservoir engineer, petroleum engineer, field engineer. Okay, and yeah, that's actually the arrows for each history. And you can also plot this one, rate versus cumulative oil plot. I plot it. You can use Excel, or in this particular case I use OFM. Okay, you plot it this way: oil rate versus cumulative oil production. You just need to find a linear trend, and you do matching there and extrapolation there. If you have gentle slope, like at this interval, it means that you will have higher recovery factor. You have higher sweep efficiency. But if you have steep slope, you will have lower recovery factor. That's simple, right? So actually, there is a treatment, there is an intervention that finally change the slope of this plot. And we need to actually know in our production history what really happened around this time, so that the slope changed significantly from previously steep slope to more gentle slope. Okay, so as you can see from this plot, something happened around this time which finally improved the sweep efficiency, so that the production will give us gentle slope. Okay, so one plot is very important, but it is actually very easy to construct. You can also construct recovery factor versus hydrocarbon pore volume injected. It's also quite easy, provided that you know your hydrocarbon pore volume and provided that you know the cumulative water injection. Okay, as a reservoir, you need to construct a lot of tools, construct a lot of analysis, and this is actually very important, very popular for water flood analysis. So in vertical axis, recovery factor; in horizontal axis, hydrocarbon for volume injected. First, we will start in primary recovery period, so there is no pore volume injected. That's why this pore volume injected is, of course, zero within our primary recovery period. And after the injection, it will move like this one. If you have steep slope, okay, in this case, steep slope means higher sweep efficiency and higher recovery factor. But some things happen within this time that change the slope. Maybe water breakthrough, maybe water recycling, we don't know. We need to actually go back and read our production history, operation history, to know what really happened around this time. They change the slope, that change the sweep efficiency. Okay, finally, it follows this poor efficiency line. Unfortunately, it will give you lower sweep efficiency and of course lower recovery factor. Again, you can construct also water oil ratio against cumulative oil production plot. All right, this is the plot, but analytically you can also construct by using this equation. Okay, it's actually a linear relationship, a linear correlation. In this plot, gentle slope means your operation is giving you higher sweep efficiency, higher recovery factor. But steep slope, it will give you lower sweep efficiency and lower recovery factor. So actually, previously, we follow a green line with gentle slope. But something happened around this time that will give you steep slope. Okay, finally, you can see if you forecast the period with gentle slope, if you forecast to the cut-off water oil ratio, and you can see you can actually obtain cumulative oil production more than 100,000. Okay, But something happened here, inefficient operation, inefficient water flood, water breakthrough, or water recycling, and it will give you only around this number, below 100,000 million barrels of oil. And the difference is huge. All right, so it means that water recycling, water breakthrough is really an enemy for water flood performance. And using this plot, you can actually analyze the efficiency. And if you see this kind of plot, as an engineer, you need to do intervention. You need to prepare what actually can we do to 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 keep our production following this gentle slope. Maybe finally you need to do enhanced oil recovery to obtain higher sweep efficiency. Or maybe you just need to do infill drilling. You just need to do water flood optimization, pattern balancing, pattern realignment, or maybe you need to do stimulation to keep your sweep efficiency. Again, you can also construct churn plot. Okay, so this is the WOR and the derivative of your water oil ratio plotted against time. If you have this trend, it means that you suffer water coning problem. All right. So if your water oil ratio increase and then it is turned to be quite steady at the end of the and the derivative curve decrease, it means that you have water coning. But if your water oil ratio and the derivative increase with constant slope like this one, it means that you have multi-layer channeling. You need to do this analysis for each well. In my case, I've done the analysis for all my wells so that I know the problem for each of my well, whether it is water coning or it is water channeling. And I can do intervention to maybe slower down the water coning to make it stable, or maybe I can shut my well to stop this water channeling problem. All right. And of course, it is very interactive, very really interesting surveillance tools. Bubble map. Okay. This is the map. We have producers and we have injectors. And of course, we want to know the drainage area, the production drainage area, and also the injected area. And that's why we construct bubble map. We can actually estimate ideally our injection radius, our injection area using this equation. Okay, it's easy actually. This one is actually the injection efficiency, around 50% to 70% to to give us to allow some losses. All right, and this is the cumulative injection thickness, porosity, average water saturation at breakthrough, and initial water saturation. You can estimate it and you can construct your bubble map easily. Okay, so it is really useful. It tells us a lot of information like this one. It tells you the flood front, where the flood front is. It tells you the overflooded area like this one. It is overflooded. You have two injectors at very close position, and this area is overflooded. And in you suffer water breakthrough. The waterfront actually arrives at your producer. So in this spot, you suffer water breakthrough already. And in this spot, you suffer water recycling because your production area is within the injection area of this injector. All right. So this is one of the things that bubble map can tells us. But it can also give us where we can actually locate our infill drilling well, like this one. We can actually locate our infill drilling area here in this spot. Okay, it is supported by injector, but with no oil well. So it means I can put my infill drilling well at this location. Okay, so this is the analysis bubble map can give us. So it is very interesting, very useful to construct. And also voidage replacement ratio. It is material balance analysis. Okay, it's quite easy. VRR, or the voidage replacement ratio, we can calculate it by using this formula: actual injection rate divided by the actual total production rate. We know the water injection rate. We know the production rate for each phase: oil, water, and gas. We need to keep our VRR around 1 to 1.2. Okay, of course, finally the best number is 1. It means that the injection and the production are balanced. But to compensate for injection losses, we can inject more and to achieve VRR equals to 1.2. If your VRR is below 1, it means that your pressure will fall, okay? Because you produce more than what you inject, VRR below 0. But if your VRR is high, well above 1, it will give you risk of fracturing. Why? Because you inject more than what you actually produce. It will pressurize your reservoir fast, and it turns out to be fracturing phenomena. And we don't want that because it will complicate our injection profile. All right. And yeah, it is the last some yeah, actually. Next, we discuss about hull plot. It's also very important for analyzing the injectivity for of our injector. We plot it this way. It is derived from injection analysis using Darcy flow, assuming a radial or pseudo steady state flow regime. Okay, if you follow this trend, it means that you have normal injection. Your injectivity is this trend, the plot giving you this trend. It means that there is an abrupt stimulation. Maybe there is a fracturing, or maybe you do acidizing, and of course the slope will be decreased. And if you have this trend, it means that you experience gradual stimulation, but most of the time your hull plot will give this trend, either abrupt damage or gradual damage. So the injectivity will drop, maybe because of low quality oil, in low quality water injected into your injectors, maybe dirty water due to solids, due to oil in water content. And of course, you will suffer formation damage or injectivity impairment. That's what actually hull plot can tells you. Okay, either you have sustained injectivity, higher injectivity, or decreased injectivity. Okay, we actually can construct by deriving this equation to finally obtain the equation for the slope. All right, so this line, it has a slope, and the slope can be numerically calculated using this equation. So finally, the slope is influenced by viscosity, the reservoir radius, well radius, permeability, thickness, and of course, skin. All right, so if you have higher skin, of course, you will have higher slope. And that's why this gradual damage, higher slope, it means that you have higher skin. Okay, but if you stimulate your well, stimulate your injector, S will decrease. And of course, the slope of the hull plot will decrease as well. You need to construct hull plot for all your injectors, like this one. Each injector, you create the hull plot and you see which wells need stimulation, which well can run normally. Okay, like this one. Some wells show an increased slope, which tells me, oh, I need to do stimulation in this particular injector. Maybe I can frac the well. Maybe I can do acidizing for each well. You can also combine all hull plots to see which well lies within the higher resistance to flow and which well give you higher performance. All right. So this is an analytical tool to tell us which injector is the best and which are the injectors are poor. Also, you can construct heterogeneity index plot. All right. It is a quadrant analysis. There are 4 quadrants. You plot the heterogeneity index for each well, and you can know which well will be in quadrant 1, which means high productivity, high oil, high water. Which well goes to good oil quadrant, high oil with low water. This is the best quadrant. And you can know right away using this analysis, using your software maybe, or you can also construct your spreadsheet to construct heterogeneity index analysis. You can know which wells are within this quadrant 2, which are the best well for you. But quadrant 3 and quadrant 4 are quite problematic. Quadrant 3 gives you low productivity wells, low oil, and low water, which means that wells within this quadrant need stimulation. And lastly, bad water. The quadrant 4, low oil but high water. In this case, maybe you need to do water shut off, or maybe you can just shut in those wells, right? Because this is the well with poorest performance. And lastly, maybe the surveillance analysis, decline curve analysis, of course. You need to do decline curve analysis for each of your well and for your overall reservoir. Okay, this is easy, and this is also popular. Decline curve analysis can give you or can show you exponential profile, hyperbolic profile, or harmonic profile. This is actually the calculation, the formula to calculate the or to forecast the production rate. Q is production rate, B is exponential, okay, and D is decline rate. You need to estimate your B and your D in order for you to can forecast the production. Wells working under water flooded reservoir, if the water flood performance is quite good, it can gives you B equals to 0.5, which is shown also by water drive reservoir. Okay, so your performance will be more or less like water drive reservoir with B equals to 0.5. So like this one. If your B is 0, it means that maybe your water flood performance is not that good, right? Like this one. Poor water flood performance gives you B equals to 0. But if your water flood performance is quite good, you can achieve this number, B equals to 0.5. All right. And you can construct your decline curve analysis like this one. Construct using software. And you can tell from this profile, apparently this reservoir show us hyperbolic trend. And that's quite acceptable because this particular reservoir is water flooded. Okay, we do water flood for this reservoir. Okay, so finally, you need to do decline curve analysis for each well and for your entire reservoir. Okay, please be careful because decline curve analysis is quite subjective. Of course, you can see exponential trend like this one or this one. A lot of apparently exponential trend, but you need to actually look at the whole profile, okay, to finally say that it is hyperbolic performance, right? And of course, you can see if we forecast this interval exponentially, of course, it will give you lower reserve, lower ultimate recovery, okay? But because you provide water flood for your production, you can achieve lower decline rate and hyperbolic trend, which will finally give us higher estimate recovery. And you can also use, lastly, empirical method for analyzing or for estimating your recovery factor. All right, this is the quick look analysis, whether you can use Guthrie and Greenberger method if you know permeability, Conant water saturation, oil viscosity, porosity, thickness, then right away you can easily calculate your recovery factor. Or you can also use your ARPS method, provided that you know the porosity, formation volume factor, initial water saturation, the viscosity ratio, permeability, pressure, and abundant pressure, then you can easily calculate or estimate your recovery factor. This is a quick look method. Finally, of course, you need to also calculate the displacement efficiency, sweep efficiency, vertical sweep efficiency, right? With this analysis.